We are in Kanadikatan in Chettinad. The station is called Chettinad. The village is Kanadikatan. This house belongs to the RM family, my husband's family. And what we are trying to do here today is a workshop on the famous egg plaster of Chettinad, which used to be a must for almost every house built in this area at one time. So now we have some old masons, master craftsmen, who are all over 75. And all the masons have come, some from Rajasthan, some from Kerala, one man from Goa, and some from Tamil Nadu, and some local masons also we are training. So I'm hoping that eventually, out of all the people we train, at least half of them will be interested in continuing, and maybe they'll go back and train people locally.
In the process, what we find is the basic materials what we need to use for this is, of course, one is the limestone, which is, in this case, it is hydraulic lime which comes from underground sources, and the second material is the shell lime, which comes from either sea shells or the conch shells as we know them. Doing this egg plastering or Chettinad plastering as it is known involves application of 6 layers of mixed materials. The first layer being the rough layer, of course, which is known as the base coat. That is a mixture of hydraulic lime and sand. The subsequent layers are always a mixture of the shell lime and a powder made out of quartzite stone. The process involves burning of these either the limestone or the shells at high temperature, and later on adding water to it, which is known as slaking of lime. Basically this material is calcium carbonate, and when you heat it up, it expels the carbon dioxide from it and becomes calcium oxide, and the adding of water results in release of enormous amount of heat and crumbling of either the stone or the shells into a white powder. Now that is calcium hydroxide. So there are 5 applications of this, mixture of shell lime and quartzite stone, and each application, the mixed material has to have a much finer consistency. As you progress, the consistency has to be the fineness has to be much higher. In the last stage of these applications, in this mixture, the egg white, the white part of the egg is added to it, which actually has a soapy consistency. When you add water to it and you churn it, it foams like soap, and that is what is mixed to this mixture of lime and shell lime and this crushed stone. Now this egg white is added to it to make it soft, and therefore, thereby you eliminate the chances of shrinkage. At this stage, you also, while mixing, you also add the water, which is squeezed out of curd made out of milk. Now, what's the exact function of that water, we don't know, but traditionally that is what is used, and the best results have been obtained that way. And if you feel like adding any pigment to get a particular tinge to the finished surface, like blue to make the white look much brighter, you can add blue there, or any other pigment. Alright, you can add that, but the pigment generally have to be very light. It has to be shades of colors and not the dark colors. The mixed material, when it comes in contact with air, it over a period of time it absorbs carbon dioxide back from the atmosphere and gets converted into calcium carbonate, the original stone which we had started with. So it's a process by which you are taking an inactive material and converting it into an active ingredient for a while, and which goes back to inactive.
That the plastering, the Chettinad plaster, it is normally called the smooth finish plaster, has not been done recently in many projects. Is more or less it is dead, and there are only very few craftsmen who knows the craft. So we just wanted to revive it and also see whether any other materials can be substituted, and if the cost can be reduced, then I think it can be used in many of the modern buildings also. Also, this becomes very critical because when you try to conserve these old buildings, part of the plaster is damaged because of some problem, some seepage or dampness. Then it's important that we repair those buildings using the same plaster technique. The same plaster technique. Has not been done recently in many